Hi, this is StoryFilm and thank you for clicking the video. Today I am going to tell a story about an American science fiction action movie called Edge of Tomorrow. This movie is adapted from the 2004 Japanese manga, All You Need Is Kill. Before we begin, get yourself something to eat and drink, find a comfortable place, and enjoy the story. The film opens with a montage of newsreels summarizing an alien invasion of Earth. Just when things seem hopeless, an allied human army with new mechanical suits wins a major battle at Verdun, and a special forces soldier named Sergeant Rita Vrataski is hailed as a hero after killing hundreds of the aliens, which are called Mimic. One of the talking heads on the newsreels selling Vrataski and the war effort is Major William Cage of the US Army. Cage awakens from a doze on a helicopter ride to London to meet with the Western Allied commander, General Brigham, assuming the general wants Cage to help him improve his public image. Instead, the general orders Cage to accompany the first wave of Allied troops landing in France.
Good luck. You are dismissed.
Cage, who was an ROTC cadet in college and has no experience in the field, tries to blackmail the general through the media. At first, the general seems to relent.
Arrest this man.
Cage wakes up in the afternoon on a pile of duffel bags at Heathrow Airport, which has been turned into a military base. A sergeant shoves boots into his hand and calls him Maggot before another sergeant named Farrell takes over. It turns out that General Brigham has sent orders to Farrell stating that Cage had tried to desert and had now been demoted from officer to private. Cage is assigned to a group of eccentric soldiers, the J Squad, whose members consist of Ford, Griff, Kimmel, Skinner, and Nance. They all are caught gambling by Farrell when Cage is introduced to them. Farrell forces the J Squad to eat the cards they are playing with and then instructs them to prepare Cage for tomorrow's mission with them. The next day is Invasion Day and Cage is a nervous wreck. He is put into a suit and the members of J Squad don't even bother to teach him how to take his gun out of safety mode, as they believe he will die quickly.
Where is the safety?
Exactly.
Oi, mate! I think there's something wrong with your suit. Yeah, there's a dead guy in it.
Hey, watch your back out there, sir.
No one else will.
However, just as they are about to drop from aircraft onto the French coast, the back of their airship explodes and the squad drops down prematurely. Although the operation to retake Europe was supposed to be a surprise attack, the Mimics are well prepared and ambush and slaughter the humans. Sergeant Vrataski also lands on the beach but is killed within minutes. The surviving members of the J Squad are all killed rapidly. Cage, still in shock and on the verge of death, reaches for a claymore mine when a giant blue Mimic lunges at him, and with one explosion, Cage and the blue Mimic die, with Cage's body doused in the alien's blood.
On your feet, maggot!
For some inexplicable reason, Cage wakes up in a panic on top of the duffel bags, the same sergeant calling him Maggot, and Farrell again taking him back to J Squad. Despite his desperate attempts to explain what is happening and that the Mimics will ambush everyone at the third time, he wakes up again after getting killed when he trying to save Vrataski, but no one believes him. Each time he is deployed and dies, only to wake up again on the duffel bags. With each loop, he becomes slightly more adept at trying to save the members of J Squad and Rita. In one loop, he survives long enough to try to save Rita from the ship that will explode and kill the incoming Mimics, which he already predicted their movement. Realizing what has happened, Rita asks Cage to find her when he wakes up before they both die again.
Come find me when you wake up.
Cage awakens on the duffel bags again but begins to cooperate with Sergeant Farrell and the J Squad in order to buy himself time to find Rita. After several disastrous attempts at slipping away,
What the hell were you thinking?
Cage finally manages to escape and find Rita in a training hangar surrounded by training drones. Rita greets him rudely, but when he explains everything to her, she takes him away to a weapons building bay where her acquaintance named Carter works. Once there, they go into a back room where Rita tells him that she, too, was stuck in a time loop at Verdun and the loop was created by the blood of the Big Blue Alpha Mimic. Carter used to be a researcher at General Brigham HQ, but his theory that all mimics are just neural manifestations of one overmind Omega alien creature led him to develop a device that can locate the Omega if inputted into an alpha. Cage tries to process all of this, but Rita states that for them to find the Omega, first they must survive the invasion tomorrow. She then proceeds to train Cage, killing him a few times when he is injured, so that he wakes up on the duffel bags and starts all over again.
Again. Again. Again.
Wait! I think I'm okay.
On your feet, maggot! 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 I'm trying to be nice to you, maggot! Now move!
In one loop, Cage is badly injured. Rita tells him to always make sure he dies completely instead of being accidentally revived, because once the looper receives a human blood transfusion, the loop is broken, as had happened to her.
I think we better start over, don't you?
What?
Suddenly, Cage receives a mental vision after he dies that the Omega is in a dam somewhere in Germany. Rita and Carter believe that the visions are due to Cage actually being an alpha after being infected with the blue blood. Therefore, Cage and Rita focus on surviving the invasion. They become much improved in combat on the beach, but despite everything, they both keep dying, and Cage loops over and over. He grows attracted to Rita, and watching her die over and over again takes its toll emotionally as well. In the following loop, he already gives up and decides to escape from the base and go to the bar where he thought he could escape the loop. However, the mimics end up finding him and kill him, thus sending him back all over again. After several failures and deaths, Cage and Rita finally make it inland. After finding a helicopter in a farmhouse, Rita realizes that Cage is trying to persuade her to stay in the farmhouse and confronts him. Cage admits that they have looped to the farmhouse several times already, but every single time Rita dies, so he tries to save her from another death by going alone.
And if I go on and kill the Omega, you're dead. Forever.
Why does it matter what happens to me?
I wish I didn't know you. But I do.
Shocked and offended, she intentionally gets them killed. In the following loop, Cage decides not to seek out Rita and instead makes his way alone to the German dam, but finds nothing and is nearly captured by the mimics before he manages to drown himself. In the next loop, Cage, Rita, and Carter put the pieces together and figure out what the visions are all about. Finally, they realize that the victory at Verdun was a ruse by the Omega Mimic Overmind to lure the humans into invading Europe, where all the human armies would be ambushed and annihilated. With no other clues, the device Carter made which got him fired is their last chance, but Carter says the device is still missing some equipment. Knowing what they have to do now, Rita and Cage switch focus on obtaining the equipment, which is in the possession of General Brigham. After several fatal failures, they manage to get the device and stab it into Cage's leg. Cage then sees the true location of the Omega, in the Louvre Museum in Paris. After seeing this, their getaway car crashes and the airbag knocks out Rita before she can kill Cage. Cage awakens tied to a hospital gurney and under arrest. He realizes that he is out of the loop now as he was given a blood transfusion. Rita frees them, but with no more loops and only a few hours left until the invasion, Cage decides to return to base and find the J Squad to take them to Paris.
Destiny calls. The world expects only one thing from us, that we will win. Rest assured, the enemy will thank you for not giving 100% today. Squad! Where's J Squad?
Once at the Louvre, the mimics ambush their airship, and in the ensuing firefight half of the J Squad is killed. Cage, Rita, and the 3 remaining J Squad members decide to use the remaining engine power to slide the airship into the museum. The rest of the J Squad sacrifice themselves to buy time for Cage and Rita to make it to the museum. Once there, Rita tells Cage that she will distract a patrolling Alpha mimic while he will go and detonate a grenade belt on the Omega, which is submerged underwater at the bottom of the Louvre. After a brief chase, the Alpha captures and kills Rita while Cage dives underwater to get to the Omega. The Alpha dives after Cage and stabs him, but Cage manages to pull out all the grenade pins and drops the belt into the Omega. The Omega explodes and dies, and all the mimics die with it. As Cage dies, the Omega's blood seeps into him. Cage wakes up in shock and finds himself on the helicopter ride to London from the morning before the invasion. He then sees on the news that after mysterious explosions in Paris, the mimics are all died off and the human forces will begin sweeping through Europe the next day. All members of J Squad are seen alive and well when Cage arrives at the base. Cage goes to find Rita, and when he finds her, she greets him with the same rudeness as she did each time they first met in every loop.
Yes? What do you want?
Thank you for watching. Like, share and comment below if you like the recap and subscribe for more video.